And now it's time for more of Southern California's sports fishing voice. Let's talk hookup. This portion of the show is sponsored in part by Ford, the official truck of Let's Talk Hookup. Shimano Rods and Reels. Fish with the best. Shimano. And by Yamaha Outboards, official motor sponsor of Let's Talk Hookup. Here we go. Another great hour of Southern California's sports fishing voice. Let's Talk Hookup. Here's Pete Gray, Rock Cod Rick Mexa, and Corey Sandin.
That's hilarious.
Welcome back. Hour number 2. Let's Talk Hookup right here on the Let's Talk Hookup app, Facebook, YouTube Live, and 97.3 The Fan. Pete Gray here along with Rock God Rick Maxa in the world headquarters. We're looking at very busy San Diego landings in Point Loma. Ali and Yusef Hussainy, the angler's realtor. Yusef is the beef man. I mean, what do we call that? You're the beef dude?
The cattle rancher?
I guess so.
Yeah. Yeah. Ranching. And then,
Cattleman Hussainy?
Yeah. And then Ali, of course, BD Outdoors, fishdope.com, Blue Sea Stabilizers, Local Knowledge, Captain Ali, Boat Builder. I was like, what else? What am I missing?
Yeah, no. What else you need?
He knits blankets on the weekend.
Yeah. Selling avocados.
Do you crochet?
Oranges by the freeway.
Yes, exactly. 2 bags for $5 this weekend only.
Anyway, having a good time with some real, some very fishy guys. Very fishy guys.
I wouldn't be mad about tacos.
Yeah, for sure. And giving away a great prize, too, to lucky caller or texter.
You're not kidding. If you didn't get to the beginning of the show, how cool. One lucky caller or texter, like Pete says, and if you send in a text, make sure you include your contact info. Somebody's going to get to go fishing. We're doing a full-day trip on board the Mission Belle out of Point Loma Sport Fishing. A big thanks to Cameron for making that happen. But yeah, full-day trip on board the Mission Belle out of Point Loma Sport Fishing. Those guys have been having a fantastic season, taking advantage of that amazing yellowtail bite that's going on at the Coronel Islands, and they just always seem to be on it. It's really cool to watch. And
Cameron's so much fun to fish with.
Yeah, totally.
Such a cool guy. And that boat's great. It's small load. And
yeah, just killing
really,
it. Yeah,
really
it's low to the water, and he put that touch that a Cameron would, a lot of long-range background, and the boat's immaculate, the crew's great, and high emphasis on perfect fish care. Like, they're just killing it. He's doing a great job, and it's fun to watch. And if you want to go, man, you got a shot. We're giving away that full-day trip. If you want to give us a call on the phones, it's 833-288-0973, or send us a text. Again, it's only available through the Let's Talk Hookup app. When you do send in your text question, just make sure you include your contact info, because if you're going fishing with Cameron, we want to make sure to get that trip to you.
Continuing our catch record here, Gundy Gunderson, the surf guru, is here. Good morning, Gundy.
How you guys doing today?
Hey,
Gundy?
Fantastic. What's going on the surf?
We had the first part of the week, we had that swell, and I put a little junk in the water, but then the full moon and the strong tides cleaned up the beaches, and boy, we had some good fishing. The Corbina fishing was probably the highliner, and, a lot of good quality barred perch in there, real consistent croaker bite still going on, and the halibut was a little bit of a pick, but still the guys who were putting their mind to it were getting some nice fish. Real good bites. Hook, line, sinker reported up there off the Goleta Pier. This was, you see this on the full moon, but the white sea bass were schooling, 18 to 30-inch fish, but they were biting off that pier, in and around the pier. There was some bait getting pushed up in there, they said. A lot of guys had 5 and 6 fish in a session. That's about as good as it gets on sea bass off the beach. Good perch action there. They had some 8, 9, 10-inch fish, lots of sand crabs everywhere. Redondo, just fishing, reported good Corbina action on South Bay beaches, Manhattan, Hermosa, real good stretches, and also some good-sized perch. I think they had a 12-inch perch there in the mix. Seal Beach, big fish, reported best Corbina fishing has been Bolsa Chica, and very good off Huntington Beach near the Huntington Pier there. Clean water, lots of crabs, warm water, just the right conditions. Catch 'em Tackle reported the best fishing there. Street jetties between the piers. Good barred perch fishing. They're seeing tons of Corbina, but just not biting as good as they hoped. Some of the water conditions, I think, have something to do with that. Dana Point Hogan's is fishing south of the San Clemente Pier. Rivieras, T Street, State Park, the old stomping grounds there. One of the regulars had 3 fish over 20 inch this week. That's pretty good quality fish. And then finally, we were talking about Oceanside and how they hadn't posted a fish on that derby, and it was just a matter of time. Well, this week they posted a 5.07 Corbina taken off Terramar. That's a beautiful fish, just over the 5-pound mark. And, it was taken on a hard jerkbait. So if you want to lead the Corbina Derby, go fish for halibut.
Yeah, that's good, Gundy. Yeah, go catch a big halibut and big Corbina. So
that's a nice Corbina.
You are such an amazing guy.
Yeah, that fish took a hard jerkbait. Handful of times you'll see a Corbina eat a hard jerkbait, but such is the case.
Yeah, for sure. Well, Gundy, you're so amazing. Unbelievable surf report today, and it just keeps getting better as we head into the late summer season here, and we'll look forward to hearing that next Sunday.
Yeah, conditions are really getting good. It's going to be a late bloomer. We'll fish into the fall.
I like it. All right, Gundy. Thanks for that. Appreciate that very much. And we'll
Have a good week, gentlemen. Good show.
All right. Appreciate that very much. Okay, be sure to check surffishtackle.com for all your surf fishing needs. Go see Bill Varney. He'll set you up with the right stuff.
That's it, man. Yeah. Hey, well, the phones are packed up. If you want to get through, it's 833-288-0973. Let's talk to Jim, calling us from National City this morning. Hey, Jim, welcome to the show.
Oh, good morning, Yusef and Ollie and Pete and Rick. Good morning, guys.
Good morning.
Hey, I got a fish report, so, I'm kind of out of the main vein of your talk show today, but I just wanted to say on the cattle thing, a lot more of my friends are buying halves and quarters beef because of the purity of the meat nowadays. No steroids in that stuff raised.
And the cost, too, right? The cost of beef in the market or beef is high.
Beef is at an all-time high right now. It's been for 2 years.
Doing that now. And, of course, the real estate market in San Diego is just, I don't know, I think might be one of the best in the world, but you can always buy at this higher interest rate and refinance when it comes down. So anyway, I'll get off that subject because that's my limit right there. But I got a fish report, guys. I went to the islands Wednesday on the Point Loma. It was a private charter. And, of course, 2 days before I go into the stop, a Fisherman's Landing, the guys in there, I spooled up. I'd like to get new line. I got 25-pound test to fly line. The bait situation Wednesday when we went, we got big sardines, and those yellowtail just wanted to eat them up. Now, we fished on the Point Loma, 15 guys. Point Loma's the smaller of the two boats. The Mission Belle is the bigger boat. But Tony, who was the skipper I've known for, 25 years, and he started it out with Fred Hubert. But our first stop, there were a lot of boats, like everybody's saying. But, we stayed there about a half hour, didn't catch a fish or two. We made a move. The next stop, after about a half-hour drive, we were completely by ourselves. And, Cameron and Tony and Booger, those guys know that the Coronado Islands like the back of their hand. And Tony learned from a lot from Steve Peterson. But anyway, it was we had about an hour and a half fight, had about an hour to ourselves on that nice grade yellowtail, anywhere from 12. We had some 18 to 20 pounds on the scale.
That's awesome.
Now,
sounds like a great trip,
what a great trip, Jim. And thanks a lot for the call. Appreciate that very much. And a good report, too.
Yeah, no doubt. Yeah, we'll take that. Hey, I had a fun text come through. It says, good morning, gentlemen. Always a great show with Ollie and Yusef. Question was for Ollie. We kind of touched on the beginning of this, but I thought the second part was just as important. It said, Ollie, what's the difference between a gyro and a ride system? Also, my question is, I have a 10-year-old Garmin NSS system. Does that need to be replaced so it can talk to the two units? Does the electronics have any bearing with what you're doing when you're putting in those systems?
Yeah, difference between a gyro and the ride system. The ride is those like high-tech trim tabs is the easiest way that we can talk about it. They call it a vessel attitude system, VAS. So it basically makes your boat run at the right attitude, meaning your bow is down in the position it should be for the most optimum fuel burn and ride. The gyro is a whole different animal, and that's, the ride system is kind of a 1 weekend, 3 or 4 days. We got you ready to go. The gyro is a little bit more complex and more expensive. The gyros go inside the hull of your boat, and they basically keep the boat from rocking at rest. Every big boat now from the factory has got a seakeeper on it. Pretty much any boat over $500,000. I mean, that's a lot of money, obviously, but with what boats cost these days, it's almost standard equipment for a reason. It just makes boating so much more pleasurable. You're not as beat up. Your boat doesn't get as beat up. It stops the puke factor for most people. One of those things that you have to experience, though. I can tell you about it all day long, but if you're curious, come do a demo ride. Fill out our contact form on BlueSeaStabilizer.com. Let us give you a demo. It is really a hard thing to describe until you felt really either system and what it can do for your boat or a boat like yours.
Yeah, for sure. The Seakeeper is a spoiler, and I need to invest into the ride system. But the Seakeeper, basically, it's like gyro binoculars. They spin at like 10,000 RPM, and it basically takes the rock out of it.
Yeah, and like on mine, the flywheel that's spinning it at 9,000 something RPM weighs 500 pounds.
Wow.
That's a big chunk of metal.
Now, what number Seakeeper do you have?
I have a 3 in my boat.
A 3. Now,
yeah,
mine has a 1.
You have a 1.
Steiger has a 1.
Yeah.
And so the ride system works off the batteries also?
Up to, so there's a 1, 2, 3, and now there's a 4. Gyro. I'm sorry.
Right.
I was thinking gyro. Yeah. All the gyros up to like a 4 DC powered. The ride is 100% DC.
100%.
Yeah.
And does it draw much?
It does not draw a lot of power. No, it doesn't.
So you don't have to put an
No,
extra
like
battery on like you
upgrades
would
No,
with a Seakeeper.
nothing like you would with a gyro. No, it's pretty much like your chart plotter has to be like he was asking. He's got one that's about 10 years old. You might be borderline at 10 years. But we have these little Garmins. If we run into that situation, I think we buy them for $700, and you pass them along at that price. You can use just the Garmin to run your gyro or your ride like standalone, or it's probably a good opportunity to upgrade one of your screens too if you need to.
Yeah.
But they have apps on them just like on your phone.
Yeah.
So when it's powered up, you have the Seakeeper app or the Ride app. You tap it and adjust your settings, and off you go.
You have a subcontractor or somebody you work with that can help on the electronic side of things if you were trying to do the whole package, or is that something they should do and then come
No,
see you
we
afterwards?
do. We'll bring in Andy. Andy Lee's come in and done some jobs for us. If it's some smaller stuff, our guys will do it. And also when you're doing the ride system, one thing that we found is a really good time. Like if you want to add underwater lights or do whatever, we're
boats
already
out of the water, might as
well.
well.
Yeah, boats out of the water. We're already drilling holes in your transom and sealing them up and all that good stuff. So we've been doing a lot of that, just kind of helping out with stuff like that.
And what about like converting to lithium battery systems?
Lithiums are great, but really for the smaller gyros, you don't need them. I mean, it is good to have them, but there's definitely a lot of other stuff you have to take into account, like what kind of charger you have, how your banks are set up, and all that. I love lithium batteries for everything else, but on my boat, I'm still running AGMs, and I can run my gyro. If I shut the boat down, I can run my gyro for probably 4 hours before I get low on voltage. Like if we're sword fishing, I got to reset and then leave the motors running for a little bit once a day. But other than that, once the thing's up and spinning, it doesn't draw that much juice. And if you're spinning it up while you're running, you're putting out so much power through your alternators, it doesn't really affect your battery life. So it's not too bad. And a lot of guys will spin it up even at the dock.
Yeah.
Now,
on my system, I have a big dedicated battery to the Seakeeper 1.
And you will, that's any of the DC ones are going to have 1 or 2 batteries of their own, but it's just a regular AGM.
And it draws a lot spinning up. But like you say, once it's spun up, then it's not so bad.
And you won't even notice that draw, though, if the boat's moving, because you're putting out 14.5 volts or whatever. It's it's charging stuff up really quick.
For sure. Hey, you want to get through on the phone? The lines, Jeff standing by at the fan, 833-288-0973. I have a great text here from Paul in Fountain Valley, and he says, great show. I enjoy the variety of topics you guys are talking about. A year or two ago, Ollie did a video on building top shots. He had a tool that he was using for clamping the line when you're working on it. Would you mind asking him what the name of that tool is and where I can get it? I have a small tool that I take on trips, but it would be nice to have the bigger one for a winding bench.
Yeah, that was the wind-on vise. We actually were making them with Blue Seas Fabrication. The C-Deck guys, they were building them for us and selling them. I don't think they're selling them anymore, though. And it's funny. It's one of the things we get the most questions about because it was so good. When you're making a wind-on, you need to have that vise to hold your stuff tight.
Oh, really?
Yeah, but I think Basil makes a good one now too. Yeah,
BHP.
Yeah, BHP Tackle. He makes a really good one. I think Ken just stopped making those other ones because it was a lot of work and there just wasn't a ton of money in it. But that's probably where I would start as BHP. And if you look around online, you'll even see how to build your own, which you can do as well. But for me, I'd rather just spend the money and, get it done right the first time. But BHP would probably be a good place to start.
BHP, yeah, for sure. Hey, a big tuna tournament coming up here in a couple of weeks. It's the Pelagic Tuna Challenge, and we have Randy on the line from Pelagic. Good morning.
Hey, good morning, guys. Thanks for having me on. Pete, Ricky, Ali, Yusef.
What's up, Randy? How are you, bud?
Good morning, bud.
Yeah, good. Thank you. I just wanted to just kind of let the listeners know a little bit about the tournament that we have coming up. We have it. It's going to be fishing days on the 22nd and 23rd of August.
Well,
you're going to be, good timing of the year. A lot of fish out there right now from all the reports I've been reading. I haven't been out lately, but been following everything on Fish Dope. We're trying to make it more accessible to the whole Southern California bite than we have in the past. So we're going to have weigh stations at the Marlin Club in San Diego, at the Balboa Angling Club in Orange County, and also at the Green Pier in Avalon, Catalina.
Nice.
That was a smart move, too. That's great. That really opens it up to everybody.
Yeah, and so what's the format of the tournament? How's it work? Is it one fish takes all? How's it work?
So general entry, $500, and then there's a first, second, and third prizes. There'll be trophies and prizes, as well as a split of the general entry pot. And then there's Calcuttas for single heaviest fish, aggregate two largest tuna, yellowtail, and dorado. And the Calcutta, kind of the side bets, are all the way up to $31,000. So $500 gets you into the general entry, and then depending on your appetite for kind of backing yourself, all the way up to $31,000 in a lot of different kind of slices of kind of how you can approach that. So you could go in at $250, $500, and kind of all the way up to $10,000 depending on the category. And all the details are on pelagictournaments.com.
I'm so pumped to see this come back because it was a fantastic tournament. You guys were doing a great job, and it was going really well. Took a break for a year or two, and just to see a true big money tournament. We've got a fantastic fishery here, and you guys just do the tournament so right. We're really excited to have this back in San Diego. It's something that, like you say, you can get 4 or 5 buds together, and I'll chip in, and you're spending $100 a piece to cover entry fee to fish in a major fishing tournament, all the way up to really throwing your money on the line and having a chance at winning some pretty serious bucks if you're in across the board.
Yeah, no kidding. And is it guerrilla rules or is it IGFA rules?
So a little more guerrilla rules. So you can have captain, 2 mates, up to 6 anglers. So you could have a boat with up to 9 people. Captain and crew are able to hook and pass, and then anglers fighting the fish have the ability to pass the rod to land the fish however many different times it takes. So everybody on the team could have opportunity to fight the fish if that's kind of what the team chose to do. You can fish on the rail. You can fish with the kite and spreader bars and all the different techniques that we like to
That's awesome.
to use to get these fish. The only thing you can't do is you just can't fight the fish in the rod holder.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
No gunnel, but everything else.
But rail is fine.
Open.
And what about like one of those bars? You were touting those bars you stick in the rail.
Oh yeah, they're awesome.
It's like a rail
wrap pipe
system. Yeah.
Yeah. Would that
wrap pipe.
That
yeah,
works?
so you're allowed to use those,
Okay.
and Joe's actually donated a few of those as prizes to the winners of the event.
Nice.
So yeah, those are definitely allowed. And the format of the event is going to be, think of it more like a 48-hour tournament than like a day 1, day 2. It'll be over 2 days, but it'll be a continuous 2 days because you can fish through the night. So boats can leave Thursday afternoon from any harbor, and then lines in Friday morning at 5:30 a.m., and then you can fish continuously from Friday morning all the way through Saturday evening, I believe at 4 p.m., and then weigh stations will stay open until 10 at the 3 weigh stations that I mentioned. So whether you're on a go-fast boat or a slower boat or just kind of playing it safe coming in, you have the ability to get back to the weigh stations before they close.
You
Okay,
guys
Randy,
you guys made a lot of really good moves, like on
really
the fisherman side of things. You know, there's so many tournaments where it's got to fit the timing for us to do this, so the cutoff is here, and that makes it really hard on the fisherman side of things. I think you guys took a lot of those moves into account. It's a really, really cool format.
Yeah, for sure. What's your take on the big tuna? What do you think it's going to take to win?
I think it's probably gonna come off of the kite, probably on the afternoon, and I think it's just gonna take being in the right spot at the right time.
Yeah, couple 100-pounder.
There's big fish around this year.
Yeah,
I think something over 2 probably take it.
Yeah. Wow.
If I even had a low 200-pounder, I'd be sweating. I think because there's a lot of big fish right now, and you get the number of boats that I would bet this is going to draw. It's a really well-designed tournament.
Yeah.
It's not a ton of dough. There's a lot of dough that you could win. I think it's going to go really good for them. I think you're going to need a big. I think you're going to need a big one.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be a lot of
Ollie,
talent
what's your
fishing
big
that
fish
thing.
this year?
We don't have one over 200. We lost one at the boat the other day. We think was over it, but the 180s, 190s.
A lot of those
that.
around.
Yeah, there was a good week and a half, 2 weeks where they were beating up those 200 plus fish, and we were doing boat work and other stuff that week.
Yeah.
So I've been on the smaller side of things so far this year. And honestly, for what we do, not in a tournament, I like that 130 to 160 fish. It's just a lot
25
easier.
pounds.
Yeah, a lot
Move
easier
them
to
around.
deal with. Everybody gets a nice big fish, and you're not on a fish in tuna jail for two hours while somebody on the bow of your boat's dying on a popper.
Yeah, but if you want to fish yellowtail or dorado, that's another category you can win some bucks on, right, Randy?
100%. Yeah, you can. Yellowtail and Dorado are also part of the tournament. So if you're kind of tucking back on an island over the night and then waking up, you could fish for the Yellowtail there. And if you get lucky on a patty with the Dorado, I don't know there's that many out there right now, but yeah, kelp patty, Yellowtail, and Dorado, and also island Yellowtail are kind of all on the table.
And are you allowed to fish in Mexican waters?
There's no border.
No border.
So
Okay.
the border, so you can fish wherever you want. The border is you got to get back to the weigh stations before you got to leave within the time, and you got to get back before the weigh stations close.
Yeah, but
love
with
this,
three
man.
weigh
And
stations like that, you guys did it right.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
it's awesome.
So again, a pelagic tuna challenge. Give us the dates and how do we get in it?
So the dates are you can leave the 21st, fishing the 22nd, 23rd. We will have the captain's meetings, one at the Marlin Club on Tuesday, which is before, and then one in Orange County on the Wednesday. So it's leave Thursday. You can do all the registration tournaments.com. You can also find it through pelagicgear.com. That will take you to CatchStat. There's a link, so take you off our website once you do all the rules and regulations. That'll take you to CatchStat where you officially register your teams, and then we'll be tracking all of the fish being weighed and the teams and the Calcuttas and everything will all be done through the CatchStat app.
Nice. That sounds great. And again, $500 entry. If you get 4 guys on your boat, $125 a piece to be in one of the prestigious tournaments of the West here. So, Randy, you guys are doing it right. PelagicTournaments.com. Check it out. And Randy, thanks for giving us the lowdown and keep us posted how the tournament goes.
Yeah, thank you very much. Hope to see some of you guys there. Have a great day.
All right.
Sounds good.
Thanks. Good to see you.
All right, I had a fun text come through. So good morning, everybody. Man, I love this show, and I love it when the brothers are on. My question is, for Ollie, how and when did you come up with the concepts for doing Bloody Decks and local knowledge? Also, I'd love some background on the family. How'd you meet Rush? How'd you meet Jason? How did everybody come to be part of the team?
Well, that's a long story. Jason actually my partner started BD about 30 days before I came around. He had gotten asked to leave a couple of local websites, maybe for some inflammatory comments. And so he was pretty much over. There was a couple other forums around, and I know Ricky was on there back in the day. That's kind of how we originally met. And they were censoring a lot of stuff. And so finally, some of the members butted heads or whatever, and Jason's like, I'll just start my own. And he came up with the name Bloody Decks. That's 100% Jason Hayashi, and started the website on a server that was literally under his friend's desk that worked at AT&T that was plugged into the backbone, total bootleg, ham and egg deal. And it just kind of took off from there. I think, in those early days, everybody was tired of being censored on the other websites and not saying what they want to say. And we gave an outlet for guys that were, able to do what they wanted to do and act like fishermen, and it was a successful formula. So it worked really well. And then local knowledge was sort of another, accidental thing. But back around 2011 or 12, a good friend of mine, Jose Wehebe, the Spanish Fly, everybody used to watch his show, I think, growing up. He had passed away. And Jose had a right-hand guy named Mikey. And I'd worked with Mikey a little bit just because Jose and I were good friends. And after Jose passed, Mikey was sort of looking for somewhere to land. And we were doing some video work for the state of Louisiana's fisheries department and some stuff for ourselves and partners and, Costa and AFCO and those guys. And Mikey was the guy was doing that for us. So I kind of brought him in as a contractor. And then we started doing more video work. I hired him full-time to BD to produce video. And him and our artist Derek Redwine, and I'll always thank him for this. They kind of somehow tricked me into doing a TV show. We were doing a lot of stand-up videos and stuff, and I really enjoyed it. And I still, to this day, the feedback I get from all those little YouTube videos, it's the best thing ever. You teach a guy how to catch his first this or his biggest that or what. It's so satisfying. And they're like, man, we've got something here. Let's see if we can put a show together. And somewhere in that time, we went down and fished with Rush, and it took me and Rush about 5 minutes to figure out that we were each other's kind of guys and like to catch some fish and drink a couple beers and maybe, talk a little bit about your family and your personal issues and, pick on each other and do all that. And it just sort of evolved, and nobody had ever done a show that was East Coast and West Coast. Yeah, and when we went to go kind of, sell it to partners, they were like, well, that's so awesome. You can kind of bring your techniques here and his techniques there and meet and go on trips and do all that. And it was just one of those things that kind of came together. And 10 seasons later, which
crazy.
Is, I mean, I can remember sitting here with Pete 10 years ago, just starting to talk about this show coming out. And
here we are 10 years later.
Yeah, my beard was probably black back then. And, we were all probably a little skinnier and better looking. And
had more hair.
Yeah, well, no, I got tons of hair coming out of my ears now, so that's great. Really excited about that.
That's always fun. You just wait.
It just relocates.
It gets better.
This whole thing is awesome. I can't get enough of it.
Yeah. So how did you get in the real estate game, Yusef?
Me, Ollie and I were partners in a promotional marketing company for years. Yeah. We used to print T-shirts and do embroidery and that kind of thing. And we'd gotten, after him and I split up, he went and did Blade X full-time, and then I just ran the business full-time by myself. I got in a car accident, and I was struggling. My back was broken. They didn't know it. And I just literally couldn't work anymore. It was hard for me to get up from my desk to even go out the door. And I was flying all over. We had big clients like Wells Fargo and Scripps. And I had a bunch of publishers all over the country I used to do stuff for. And I'd have to fly out to their shows and meet them. And sometimes I'd end up bringing them stuff. So I was on the move all the time. I just couldn't do it anymore. So I packaged up the company basically and went to a few of the biggest guys in town and said, hey, you guys interested? And the biggest one, Custom Logo, decided, they gave me an offer, and we went back and forth. Ollie kind of guided me through it because I didn't know a ton about that kind of business, and sold the company and always wanted to be in real estate. I'd worked for a mortgage company years prior as a business development director and just did it.
Just fit.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's the thing, like, you've got the background like that, and that's what everybody, like, we get so much positive feedback from all of the customers that, we've sent your way and vice versa, and, like, everybody says, you wouldn't believe it. He's just a regular guy. He's just a regular guy. He's so easy to work with. You call him on the phone, he's a regular dude. He's didn't try to push me into anything, talked me out of one thing, found the right house a month later, and now he's my bud, and I go fishing with him. Like, we hear that story all the time. Like, you just treat people the way that you're supposed to, and that's it.
Man.
Don't worry about it. And everything else just falls into place.
We're all fishermen. We all like the same thing. As long as you're not a jerk, I will never be a jerk. Yeah. But I love working with fishermen, and they look out for me as much as I look out for them.
Totally.
You have amazing knowledge too. That's the thing, is the markets, what's going on. You're going to be straightforward with people, and that's a unique quality that you don't find a lot in real estate.
Appreciate that.
Yeah.
My biggest thing is not pushing anybody into anything. Yeah. Let's make sure you want to do this.
Yes.
Let's make sure we're doing this for the reasons that help you and your family. I'll sell another house. I don't care.
Yeah.
But I make sure I take care of everybody.
Right,
do the right thing.
I always thought that was the biggest thing. That was my buddy's takeaway. Was that he's like, man, he talked me out of a place that we thought we were going to get, and like, what person in real estate is going to talk somebody out of a commission check, and then a month later you found the right place and they were 100 times happier, and like you just don't hear that very often. Somebody knows they got a sale coming, they're going to write the check, and away you go. And that wasn't the case. And they
never
said,
been that way, man.
Forever.
And even when I wasn't selling, a ton of houses every year, I would walk away from stuff all the time. I'd advise people away from it because it's the right thing to do.
Yeah,
that's the biggest purchase of your life. You want somebody that's gonna
have your back.
Yeah,
basically.
And knows their stuff.
Yep.
Yeah,
exactly.
That's for sure. Yeah, 833-288-0973. You want to get through, there's your chance. I have a great text here from Billy in Encinitas. Hey, guys, Ollie's talking about how great the Seakeeper is for different fishing conditions, but I think one of the best things is sitting on the anchor with the family and friends. Boat wakes, changes in wind, current don't bother the comfort at the anchory. Same with spending the night on the anchor all night. It makes for a great night's sleep. Well, isn't that the truth?
Totally
right?
agree. And also, we'll drift.
Yeah.
If the weather's nice, we shut it down, put somebody on watch, set the radar alarm or whatever, and you can drift and just run your Jenny, and your boat sits dead level, dead stable all night. It's great. It's really great.
I get funny story. My wife Lolly gets seasick. And so we'll go once in a while and go anchor out in Glorietta Bay, right? It's flat, calm, and stuff like that. I got to have the Seakeeper on because of boat wakes, right? She goes, that Seakeeper thing on? I go, no. She goes, turn it on.
No,
it makes a difference.
Wives do sell a lot of Seakeepers.
For sure.
No doubt. Hey, when we come back, we got more Let's Talk Hookup coming your way, including more of your phone calls. We're going to check in with catch reports and more. You stay tuned. It's Let's Talk Hookup on the Let's Talk Hookup app, Facebook and YouTube Live, and 97.3 The Fan.
Hi, this is Captain Ray Lopez, owner-operator of the American Angler. I've spent more than half my life aboard the American Angler along with my partners Brian and Lori, developing a team that's as good as it gets. I've been fortunate to spend time in the ocean with so many fine people that I look forward to fishing with. We can't thank you enough for being part of the American Angler family, and if you haven't joined us, we love the opportunity to meet you. Text or call Lori at 619-223-5414 or check AmericanAnglerSportFishing.com.
Looking for the ultimate Alaska fishing experience and the best value in Alaska? Look no further than Kingfisher Charters in Sitka, Alaska. A trip to Kingfisher includes everything you need to make your experience legendary. The finest fishing fleet in Sitka with the best captains, deluxe accommodations, gourmet food, world-class fish processing, and the best part, it's all included for one amazing price. Kingfisher is Let's Talk Hookup's most popular destination. Hundreds of listeners have experienced Kingfisher Charters, and most go back again and again. You have probably heard a lot of big promises from other Alaska lodges, only to find there were lots of hidden charges. Not Kingfisher. Everything is included. 10-hour fishing days, your license, fish processing, super deluxe accommodations, amazing food, airport transfers, and fishing gear. All you bring is your layer clothing, and Kingfisher covers the rest. Kingfisher Charters, your Alaska fishing destination. 800-727-6136 or check kingfishercharters.com.
When you're offshore fishing, the right gear makes all the difference, and that includes Fujinon stabilized binoculars from Baker Marine. Baker Marine has been selling binoculars for decades, and more importantly, they service all brands right at their San Diego Shelter Island location. Need the best? The Fujinon Staboscope is the professional's choice. Looking for top-tier stabilization at a great price? The Fujinon TechnoStabi TSX 1440 delivers rock-steady vision even in rough waters. Perfect for serious anglers. Baker Marine is the largest Fujinon retailer on the West Coast, and when you buy from them, they will be there when your binoculars need service. Plus, they'll give you a great price on all their in-stock Fujinon binoculars. Stop by their store on Shelter Island in San Diego and test a pair of Fujinon binoculars and see which one is right for you. The fishing season is here, and you know you need a pair of stabilized binoculars. So get them from the experts at Baker Marine. Learn more at bakermarine.com. The Ford Summer Sales Event is on at your San Diego County Ford dealers. It's a great time to take a test drive to see what Ford's award-winning lineup of trucks and SUVs has to offer. You'll discover California's best-selling truck brand, Ford F-Series, equipped for anything your demanding job needs or the family vacation you're taking. Check out the Bronco family featuring the iconic Ford Bronco or the versatile Ford Bronco Sport. Both have muscle, tech, and durability needed to go anywhere. Whether it's gas, hybrid, or all-electric, visit your local dealership to find the perfect Ford for you during the Ford Summer Sales Event. The Ford Summer Sales Event is on at your San Diego County Ford dealers. It's a great time to take a test drive to see what Ford's award-winning lineup of trucks and SUVs has to offer. Visit your local San Diego County Ford dealer today. They'll be glad to hook you up.
Welcome back to Let's Talk Hookup. Having a great time here this morning, taking your phone calls, reading those texts. Again, if you want to get through 833-288-0973, your opportunity to talk to Yusef, talk to Ali, and have your shot at winning that trip on the Mission Bell.
Yeah, we just heard the Baker Marine spot, and I think I told you I bought those Baker Marine 14 by 42. They're like a hunting. They're a gyro. Not a gyro, but they're electronically stabilized field binocular.
Sick.
Like super lightweight. I mean, I showed them to you. They weigh like a pound or something like that.
This dude is who needs
you
a pair
need
of those.
one of
Dude,
those.
You'll trip, Ollie.
Dude, I am telling you,
Really?
this thing,
Like, are they as good as your gyros?
No. So here's the deal. I took them to Queen Charlotte Safaris, Hideaway Safaris, and when you're sitting on flat, it's a game changer. It's just like your gyros. I mean, super stable, ultra clear optics. But when the boat's rocking and rolling, you got to have that TSX 1440 Fujinon or a gyro. That it's a different and Anthony was explaining to me it's a different stabilization. It's when he says top tier stabilization, that's what you need for on the water because you're rocking and rolling. But for your hunting,
that's the thing. You can have
a pound that works
for $800.
Yeah,
you can have 14 power. You can have 14 power
instead of 10.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That you can just hold to your face and be rock steady.
Yeah,
it doesn't work on the boat.
I wanted to bring my gyros for the same reason hunting, but they're too heavy because I don't have to set up a tripod and do all that stuff. I'll have to check those out. That sounds real. $800.
$800.
My 10s cost like $2,000. Swaros, they're not cheap.
And their optics are dead on.
Kidding.
They're super
I'll
good.
have to check.
It's like an in-house built thing.
But if you're looking for something for your boat, you definitely want and you don't want to spend the $5,000 on a regular set of gyros. That Fujinon TSX 1440.
Yeah, that's what Dave has. Dave likes his better than he likes using mine. Yeah, no, I've heard nothing but great stuff. And we started with the Fujis, the old ones, whatever that model was. And do bang for the buck, and I'll carry my Frasers to my grave. I love them, but bang for the buck, it's the Fuji. It really gets you in the game without spending too much money. And these new ones with the eye cups and all that they look phenomenal.
But Anthony and the guys at Baker Marine, they'll die in. They'll let you try every one of them. Just go in there and
I
was shocked because
they'll service them everything.
For like a hunting whatever on land wildlife view, they're relatively small. That's the other thing about a pair of gyros. Big, these things would fit in a front pouch, fit in a front pocket on a vest kind of thing, and they're light. I carried them on the plane with me, they're hardly they weighed in. They're a stabilized pair.
I don't have my wallet with me, Pete, but my wife's the decision maker. But I am interested.
Send her down there to buy your next Christmas gift.
Totally.
Tell Baker we'll take two.
No, they're good.
Hey, I had a fun text for Yusef. Says, "Good morning, guys. This is a great show. I want to hear a little bit more about the beef. My question for Yusef was about the potatoes. Is that just like when you hear people talk about doing a grain finished, but you're doing it with potatoes? Also, does the meat get nice marbling? Do you have a website or any channels on social media where you can scope out the business? Very interesting stuff, and thanks for sharing." That's from Quentin in Fontana.
Okay, so yes, we fatten them. We finish them with potatoes. Most grass-fed beef, especially if you're buying it here in California, they're finishing it on corn, and that GMO corn just basically wipes out all the good things that you're doing with that cow for grass-fed. So we needed to figure something out because pulling them straight out of the field, they were too lean. And my friend that raises them they're potato farmers too. And they said, hey, we fatten them on potatoes. Let's do this. So we started with 1 month. That batch came out great. And the last batch we did 2 months. And then now I'm hanging them for 29 days as well.
Wow.
So you're getting some crazy aging on it. You're getting fattened up with potatoes, and it's very, very good meat.
So it is I can attest to it. It's delicious. Yeah. So you buy a quarter.
Yep.
The thing is beef is super expensive. A quarter, what kind of cuts are you getting? You're getting like a variety of cuts. A lot of ground beef, I'm sure, but
you get every cut on the cow. I do a little roast heavy. I do chuck steaks instead of chuck roast, that kind of thing. We've got a really good division now of different cuts, and it matters how you cut the cow to what kind of steaks you're going to get. You know, you can't get T-bones and get like New Yorks. 2 different ways to cut it. So we do New Yorks, we do ribeyes, we do chuck steaks. You get short rib, you get stew meat, you get ground. We do the vitals, a vital ground too. If you want that, you have to order a whole cow for that, but we'll grind the vitals with it and give.
Yeah,
you...
Ricky'd want that, right?
Exactly. A lot of people asking for it.
Really?
I call it like a heritage grind.
Yeah.
I think it's so cool. I mean, like, but I'm like, we just don't have space for. Like, I love the idea. I mean, I think making the investment and buying a whole cow and like knowing that you're covered the whole year and friends and all that seems killer. But we just don't have the space. But knowing that you can get a quarter.
That's like 100 pounds, right? A quarter's like 100
Quarters between 80 and about 110 pounds, depending on the size of the
cow. And it's like $1,500, right? Something around that.
Yeah, we had a special going for $1,600. I'll extend that to Let's Talk Hookup listeners.
Okay.
$1,600 for a quarter that's delivered and
that's awesome.
in your freezer.
Oh, really?
No, it's
awesome.
And that'll fit a normal size freezer. Like, let's say you have a garage fridge with a freezer on it, you know, that you keep your beers in. It'll fit in that freezer, you know.
Taking up ample Coors Light space, though. I don't know. You just go to Costco, get the little chest.
Well, you know, you leave the Coors Lights down below.
Yeah, sure.
Let's keep this professional.
Yeah, but yeah, it's not crazy. If you have 4 people in your house, a quarter will last you 4 to 6 months.
I think that's so cool, and just to know that you've got a premium product too. That's not
well. It all comes from one cow.
Organic.
Yeah.
When you go to the store and you buy ground beef. Like, store ground beef, there's literally 1,000 cows in there.
right.
Wow.
And the more cows you have, you know, the more likely you are to get some disease or something funky. It's going to affect the flavor. Yeah. You know, you're not eating a grind of 1 million cows, and every time you go get steaks, you're getting a new cow. Yeah. Who knows what you're getting? Some are good, some are bad. You know.
Yeah. I think that's really cool, man. Fun.
Hey, great text here from Dave in Ocean Beach. He said he wants to know. He has a 21-foot C-Pro center console, and will the ride stabilizer work on that?
Yeah, absolutely. Really, the only challenge that we look for in like what boats can we put a ride on or not is trim tab pockets. So a lot of boats, not a lot, I'd say maybe 30% of the boats that we do have got inset pockets where the trim tabs kind of tuck up into them.
Like my Steiger has inset.
Does it have?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought it was flat
pockets.
transom. Okay,
yeah.
So if you have the inset pockets, then we have to take your old tabs off, and then we have to fill the pockets.
Yeah.
And that adds some cost in fiberglass work and all that. But like if
and it's like almost like just putting a.
We basically build a wedge or a block,
yeah.
whatever you want to call it, out of Cusa board, which is, you know, the boat building board that's like the replacement for wood. Then we encapsulate it all in glass, and then we glass it into the back of your boat. We glue it into your boat with plexus, which is gnarly stuff. It's never going to come out. And then we glass around it, ferret, and do all that. Yeah. So that's kind of the only unknown X factor is really the transom or the transom pockets. If you have those, most boats fortunately do not. And also old electronics. Like if your screens are older than 6-8 years, yeah, we might have to put a standalone, or you might have to upgrade a screen. But other than that, most boats that have a flat transom where your trim tabs are bolted to it, it's just a matter of pulling those off, putting the new ones on, and then wiring up the system.
And so on a 21-foot C-Pro, what would be the cost?
First thing that we would ask for is a picture of the transom, so we can see, you know, what's going on there. But if not, the smallest kit installed, which is like what we're putting on the Parkers and stuff, you're right around $8,000.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Installed,
yeah. Ready to go. Turnkey, throw it in the water.
I love that, man. That's killer. Well, hey, I had another fun text come through. See if I get her pulled back up here. And this one was, says, good morning, guys. Ollie, could you talk a little bit about tackle setups? I've been following the social media, seeing that there's been a lot of medium-sized bluefin with you guys casting lures this year. Could you talk about medium-sized setups for bluefin and hopefully eventually yellowfin as well? Also, you have curious on your preference on knots when you're tying to poppers, stick baits, etc.
So first question was what kind of gear are we using? I mean, for the big bluefin, I think that's probably where you start. We carry Penn 50 VISX, which is just the narrow, topless, international 50. Those are kind of our main kite rods. Sometimes pull the spreader bars with them or whatever. And then we keep a set of Penn 30s, 2 internationals, and those are usually directly tied to like a high-speed trolling lure, like the new Sarda from Rapala. We've been dragging those a lot, gets bit, or a Mad Mac. And then for like fly line bait, stuff like that, we're using a Penn 20 VISX, and these are all VISXs, and we're using that for our fly line / sinker baits. And then popper rigs, and that's really what we're taking, that and some heavy casting gear when we're chasing those big fish. For our heavy casting gear, I've got a couple of setups I really like. Ricky turned me on to that. What's that Wahoo, United Composites Wahoo 9-footer. That's a great casting rod with tons of backbone. And then we also have, we pair that up with a 25 narrow fathom. It's crazy, the size of the fish. Those little fathom 2-speeds, they're indestructible. They cast well. They're cheap. I mean, they're pretty much everything to like. We catch fish up to 175, 180 pounds on that casting. Works awesome. And then the other rig we really like is there is a Wahoo rod in the Penn West Coast series. It's a 8-foot rod, and it's rated, I think, 40 to 80, but it's got a soft tip. And I know everybody likes to throw the popper or likes to throw the like the Colt Sniper, the Williamson style jig. But we've been using a lot of heavy iron, like little 6X juniors and stuff like that, because we get extra casting distance. And I'm pretty convinced, like when they're biting, you could throw a hot dog with a hook into that foamer. As long as it's something that even remotely looks like a fish, it's going to get bit. And the extra weight allows us to throw a heavier rig. And then we're getting them on those 25, like I said, fathom 2-speeds. As soon as we get that fish up and down, we pop it into low gear, put it in the wrap pipe, and go to work.
That's
and
cool.
Even clients are doing it. We're lucky to fish with a lot of really good anglers, but we do get guys that are kind of new to it. Man, you can hook a fish for a guy on there, get him set up, put him in that pipe, and that guy is going to catch a trophy. And that's what's been really good. And as far as like terminal setup, I'm super, super basic. I was forced to learn the FG knot, and once you know the FG, I don't think there's any going back. I think we've got a video on our Local Knowledge YouTube channel showing you how we like to tie it, but it's basically the reel and a rod holder, rod and reel and rod holder, put pressure on the tip of the rod, wrap it around your hand, and then tie your knot. I can tie that knot in under 1 minute. Wow. It has never once failed. Everything for all of our short top shot stuff, like the Sardo Mad Mac rods, we tie like a 3-foot leader, 130 pound on there. And our casting gear, depending on the size of gear, we'll use an 80 to even 100. If it's biting, we'll put a 130 pound leader on there and let them try to chew that off, which just doesn't happen very often. And those are really our go-to setups, the heavy casting rigs this time of year, and then obviously the big bluefin stuff.
Yeah. Hey, question from Jeremy in Bonsall. He says he wants to know, tell us more about getting the beef. How do we get it? And he says, love your show and love supporting local ranchers, which is also important too.
So you can go to our website, naturefedbeef.com. Everything on there right now is what we have in stock. We do have here in San Diego about a full cow right now that we could deliver in the next couple days.
All right.
We have a new load coming next week, too.
Oh, okay. And then Mike in Phoenix wants to know if you'll ship the beef to Arizona.
We won't. We go as far east as Hussainy. We could meet halfway there, out in Hussainy if they were interested. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Perfect. This one was back to Seakeeper Ride. It says, good morning, guys. I love the show, learning so much, and I love that we're bouncing around on the different fun topics. I want to ask how Seakeeper Ride works if you're slow trolling or even just moving or traveling at slower speeds. Ali was saying with the swell, it keeps you more stable, and it keeps the boat running the same speed. Can't wait to hear James from Campo.
Yeah, so the faster you're going, obviously the more water's going underneath your boat, and these things are like flaps on an airplane, so the more effective it's going to be. But you definitely will see a difference slow trolling. It may not be as dramatic as, what you're doing up on plane. That's really where they shine. But I definitely do notice slow trolling, trolling the bars around, trolling the max around, doing whatever. It's definitely helping. But where it really shines is that, running on plane, not having to adjust anything, taking the slap out of the boat, and giving you that better fuel economy.
That's good info.
Yeah, for sure. And Sean in Oceanside says, hey, I went to the islands on Thursday with large sardines. At least he had sardines.
Yeah.
That's a good thing. Can you talk a little bit about hook size and how you decide what hook size to use?
Man, it's just the classic thing that we grew up, I think, learned on the party boats is you just match the hook to the size of the bait. A lot of these guys will go down and use a hook that's tiny, tiny. I'm not one of them. I can't bear the casualties. I'd honestly rather get less bites and get more fish in the boat. The casualties drive me nuts. So about the smallest hook that I'm going to fish is going to be like a 1 or a 1.0. My favorite hook to use would be like a 2.0 Gamakatsu circle hook. I think the sure sets or the light wire is what they call them. I like a real light wire hook. I feel like you can get away with a bigger hook. bigger size hook that's going to catch that corner of the jaw, but you don't have that added weight of using like a super beefy little tiny owner or something like that. So that's sort of my solution is I go to a lighter wire hook, but I want that bigger gap and the bigger hook to try to get a hook set in the corner of the fish. And for like regular sardine, we're using that 1020, and then you get those bigger donkey grade 8-inch sardines. We're going to go to a 30, a 4. And if they'll eat it, I'll feed them a 4 or a 5. You're just
bigger the better, right?
100%. You're just going to hook that many more fish. And those light wire hooks, they're strong and they've got some give to them. As long as you don't set your drag to like exterminator mode, you can catch pretty much anything on it. We'll be down in Mexico, and think we're casting at a marlin and have a tuna eat it or something like that, and it's never really an issue, just as long as you don't try to do anything too dumb.
And the bait swims a little bit better using those wire hooks,
Yeah.
And it's easier to pin the bait on.
Yeah, more natural look, right?
Yeah.
And the short top shots, I think that's a big secret. I know they don't really like those on party boats as much, but at least for us private boat guys, you see guys that are fishing 15-pound tests for picky tuna. Again, I'm not that guy. Losing those fish makes me mental. I'm fishing 25 would be about the lightest, 25 fluorocarbon, Seaguar Gold is what I like. And then that light wire.
Why
hook,
would you like anything else? It's the best there is.
That's one of those things, man, that just has not changed for
Seaguar Gold
30
is game
years. Have you tried the heavy stuff yet? So now it's coming out.
Yeah,
it just comes out with the big 100 to 300 pound.
300 pound.
Dude, I've been fishing wind-ons I made out of that stuff with 130 pound tests. It feels like 80.
Wow.
And we've had no issues at all. It is awesome. Once gold came out, all the other stuff kind of went to the wayside. Except for like, making flying fish rigs and stuff. I like to use the blue or the Premier just because it's harder and I can catch 10 fish on it. Yeah, it's just a harder compound. But for most of what you do, man, I think you really only need that Seaguar Gold. That's the stuff for me, and it gets bit. There's just no question about it.
Yeah, I use it in Montana for fishing trout.
Yeah,
2 pound, 4 pound, 6 pound, 8 pound. There's nothing like it.
Yep.
I mean, they make the Grand Max, which is basically the same. But I still just use regular Seaguar Gold.
It trips me out. We go to the Sierras usually, once during the summer, and I go from crimping 400 pound. Now I've got old man eyes. Trying to tie
4 pound.
Oh my gosh! It's like feels like you're messing with hair. It's not even line. It's crazy.
But it's game change. That Seaguar Gold is game changing.
It's the gold standard. I mean, pun intended. It's it's great material, great leader
The
material.
abrasion resistance is what's so wild too. Because we do the same thing. We'll fish it at El Salto, and you put a piece of 20 pound at El Salto. You can throw it anywhere. Throw it anywhere, and it come through anything and hang up on every tree and every rock and everything. Just you pull until the hook straightens out, then you get your lure back, and then you bend the hook back again with your your duckbills. It's crazy how strong that stuff is.
And the abuse it can take. When we're fishing, I'm sure you're like me. I get a little lazy sometimes, don't want to retie or whatever, and you got a leader that looks like it went through a shark's mouth, and you're still landing fish on it. The stuff is just really, really tough, but the suppleness of the gold and being able to tie knots with it so easy and not have it be so kinky, basically, that's what really does it for me. I love this stuff.
We're short on time, but you have a quick one there, Rick?
I had a quick one. Good morning, guys. Recently got back into green bass fishing, and I've been noticing that on some of the small lakes, electronic noise in the water, forward-facing sonar, etc., can put bass off the bite. My question for Ollie, does Ollie make any noise, and have you ever found a scenario like still water, no wind, where you thought the electronics caused you any issues? That's from Dave in San Diego.
So... yeah, when I'm sucking and not catching fish, I think
the sonar.
It has to be the sonar.
Moon, it's,
I mean,
it's the water, it's the tide.
Otherwise, I'd totally be killed. I mean, I don't even know anymore. I think as you get older, you realize that you just don't know that much about fishing, and you just go and do it a lot.
If you're ever
good stuff
underwater...
happens.
when that stuff is going off.
I
mean, it's loud.
You can hear my chirp transducer in the boat, like
loud.
somebody's tapping on the bottom of the boat with a hammer. So I think there's something there, but man, I'm not smart enough to figure it out.
That's wild. Hey, when we come back, we're going to find out what lucky anglers got themselves a full-day trip on board the Mission Belle. You stay tuned. More Let's Talk Hookup coming your way on the Let's Talk Hookup app, Facebook and YouTube Live, and 97.3 The Fan.
Pelagic is bringing back the California Tuna Challenge. Get ready for the most exciting tournament to hit the West Coast on August 22nd and 23rd. It's about the fun, it's about the tuna, and it's about your chance to cash in on big prizes. An affordable $500 entry fee per team gets you in. This fun 2-day format is open to all Southern California anglers with 3 official weigh stations in San Diego, Newport, and Catalina. Optional jackpots and side bets up to $41,000 all in will raise the stakes for huge cash payouts, including options for yellowtail and dorado. The big tuna are here. Win some major cash and bragging rights in the ultimate California offshore showdown. Registration is now open. Go to PelagicTournaments.com for additional information, rules, and to register for this great fishing event. The Pelagic California Tuna Challenge, August 22nd and 23rd. Just $500 gets your team a shot at the ultimate California tuna bragging rights. Check PelagicTournaments.com.
The name that stands out among anglers is Fisherman's Landing, your top choice in local and long-range fishing. Our hardworking crew will make your fishing experience one to remember. We offer the finest open party trips from 1 to 3 days, the best charter boats available, and of course, our world-renowned long-range fleet is second to none. Fisherman's Landing is a full-service sport fishing operation offering great half-day trips on the Dolphin and full-day trips on the spacious and comfortable 85-foot Liberty. With bunks for your comfort, a huge bait capacity, and RSW fish holds to keep your catch fresh. Fisherman's Landing also boasts the best captains and crews in the business, from seasoned veterans to our young future legends. All our open party trips from half-day, full, or 1 to 3 day trips can be easily booked online at fishermanslanding.com or give us a call at 619-221-8500. I'll see you at Fisherman's Landing in San Diego.
Don't let the summer pass you by with powerful deals on new Yamaha outboards during Yamaha's Cruise into Summer sales event. From now until September 3rd, 2025, purchase a new, eligible Yamaha 450 to 30 horsepower outboard and get up to 7 years of warranty protection. Looking for a lower horsepower? Yamaha's got you covered. Purchase a new Yamaha 25 to 2.5 horsepower outboard and receive up to $300 in dealer credit. Yamaha. Reliability starts here. Offer ends September 3rd, 2025. Subject to change. Other restrictions and conditions apply. Select models excluded. 24-month Yamaha extended service added to 36 or 60-month factory limited warranty. Choice offered to Florida residents is a 24-month Yamaha limited warranty for select motors. See authorized participating Yamaha outboard dealers for details. Cannot be used with any other Yamaha offer.
Many years ago, Baja pioneer Bob Van Wormer found the area he called the Great Fish Trap in the East Cape of southern Baja and built what is now regarded as the premier East Cape resorts of Palmas de Cortez and Playa del Sol. Today, following in their father's footsteps, Bob's sons, Bobby, Chucky, and Eddie, have taken Palmas de Cortez and Playa del Sol to new levels with the largest sport fishing fleet in Mexico, a luxurious spa, and top-of-the-line resort amenities. Van Wormer resorts have become a destination for travelers worldwide. But for us, Palmas de Cortez and Playa del Sol are just a short 2-hour flight away. No other tropical fishing destination offers the experience and value that you'll find at Palmas de Cortez and Playa del Sol. Now you can plan your Baja fishing vacation quick and easy by visiting VanWarmerResorts.com. And when you're ready to book, it's quick and easy. Or simply call 877-777-TUNA for more information. Van Wormer Resorts, the East Cape's finest.
Welcome back to Let's Talk Hookup. Okay, we're going to find out who's going fishing on that full-day trip on board the Mission Belle. All you do is flip that prize coin. We'll see who we got here. Today, we have a... Who do we have today? We have a texter winner. Congratulations. That's James in Campo. You got yourself a full-day trip on board the Mission Belle. Congratulations, James.
Yeah, congratulations. Yeah, let's give him a big applause there. And
beat with the sound effect.
Yeah, how about that, huh?
Wow.
Moving up, buddy. Moving
30
up.
years in the business, and he's got sound effects now.
So, I got a lot of stuff, like crickets. Ollie, of course, local knowledge. How do we find that?
Localknowledge.tv, or find us on YouTube or Waypoint or whatever. And see the stabilizer business is blueseastabilizer.com. And I think that's all I've got.
And Fishdope.
Oh, fishdope.com. Always on here. Big supporter.
Yeah.
And I think that's about it. We're not too hard to find.
Yeah, and if we want beef or real estate, Yusef, how do we find you?
So you can get me for beef at naturefedbeef.com. For real estate, I'm at sportsmansrealty.com.
All right. Thanks, guys. Thanks
Thank
to
you,
checking
guys.
the fan
Great to catch
studio.
up.
Thanks to Adam on the app. Next week, next Saturday, Doug Kern from Fisherman's Landing Tackle. Oh, boy, that's going to be a fun one. We're going to be talking tackle on a lot more. So we'll see you next weekend right back here on Let's Talk Hookup, 97.3 The Fan, YouTube, Facebook Live, and the Let's Talk Hookup app. See you then.